Good morning. We're here. I'm live. Sorry I'm a few minutes late for the live people. And if you're watching this as a video, I'm just going to say a few hellos and then we're going to dive right into tarot time. So, welcome to the Medium channel, where as always, we bring you the spirituality behind the message to help you to awaken. So, lots of cool and good stuff going on here. Let me again, for people that are not live, I just we'll give the people a chance to come in. But what we're going to do is we do a meditation card for the week, a 3-card spread for the week for your personal reading, as well as the reading for this group, this collective. And then we have other divination cards and other tools of getting messages from spirit for you. Okay. Before I put my glasses on, maybe I should clean them. It's been that kind of a morning. So I'll say my hellos and then we'll get right to it here. Okay. Hopefully I won't sneeze. All right, Angela and Doreen, Children's School of Yoga. We'll get back to her in a second. Hi, Carissa and Laura and Pug Life and Judy Horton and MDR. Hi, Rose and Judy and that's all that's in so far. Right now, my screen says that there's 0 people in, but I guess it's lying because there's obviously more than 0 people in right now. And the Wi-Fi was a little weird. That's one of the reasons I'm a little late too. So if the Wi-Fi gets crazy or whatever, just bear with us. I think it'll be okay. So hi, Claire G. Good morning, Starseed. Good morning, Empath. Good morning, Light Workers. So today's a double header, a medium channel double header. At 5 o'clock, we're going to do a yoga class with Doreen of the Children's School of Yoga, and this is her. So she's going to do a little bit of a spring tune-up and maybe a few other surprises for us for a little bit of yoga training. And of course, yoga, breath work, centering, grounding, all this stuff is really important. And speaking of which, my hair is resembling Bart Simpson's, hair again this morning, a little bit spiky. And I was just thinking to myself when I was looking in the mirror saying, oh my God, it's like, I'm going to go on camera like this. But I was thinking I do so much grounding. I do so many tree meditations that I think my hair's starting to think they're branches and leaves, and my hair wants to grow up rather than down. So anyway, time to break out the scissors, I guess. My hair's saying, no. All right. Well, I still have 0 people on, so oh well. Well, 0, zero's the void, right? Zero's spirit before manifestation. So maybe that's a message from spirit. We just had a new moon at 0 degrees Aries. So when we hit that 0, that's no thing, right? Nothing. That's what 0 is. So it's the void. It's where all reality came from, like an emptiness, a nothingness. And it's spirit before manifestation, those energies. So this is a good, and it's also an Aries new moon. Well, it's the moon's not new anymore, but we're still in the lunar cycle. So this is really, this phase that it's still like in the first quarter. This is a good time to really mold your new reality, whether that's through your intention or visualizations or changes in your habits and routines. Because, if we change our habits, we change the wiring in our brain. And however our brain's wired is what it is, at least in part, what we're going to attract into our lives. So in any sense, so somebody has the right numbers. 20 people on. Okay, we're still wait. That means a lot of people either aren't coming on or they didn't get their notifications this morning. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Like I said, this is all recorded anyways, right? So as soon as we're done, you can come back. All right, and watch this as a video. So we have yoga. I started last week, right at the new moon. So I use my astrological timing and numerological timing. Easier to swim with the tides than against the tides. So I started to do. I took the plunge. I started to do YouTube shorts. It was a lot easier than I thought it would be, even with my ineptness with technology. So we do, except for Sundays. So it doesn't happen on Sundays because we have tarot time, but 6 other days a week, as long as I'm able to do them, obviously. I just have like 1 minute short videos on your psychic forecast for the day, message spirits for the day. So that gets released at 8 a.m. every morning Eastern time. So what else is going on? So we have yoga at 5. Tuesday, my favorite animal communicator, Cindy Brody, is coming on the channel to do an interview with me. So I'm really psyched about that. She's, a Woodstock person like myself. Really, really amazing pet communicator. So she's going to be sharing a little bit about her experiences with, talking to the animals and stuff like that. That's going to be Tuesday at 7 p.m. And I know there's a couple of other things. I can't think of them right now, but if it comes to me, I'll definitely let you know. But what's really, getting back to your forecast and tarot and just touching on a little bit of astrology, because it's been a very interesting week astrologically. So we had two major transits, two major shifts of energy happen. We had Pluto go into Aquarius. It's only going to hang out there for about 3 months. It's like dipping its toes, and then it retrogrades back into Capricorn for a while until in, I think, 2024. Sometimes it'll go back into Aquarius and kind of sit there for the next 20 some odd years, however long it takes. About 21 years. So it'll be, and Aquarius is very revolutionary. It's Uranus, so a lot of that Pluto energy is very, very much, the kind of the strength within, so to speak. It's like that transmutation, that evolutionary concept, Hades of the underworld and everything. So, in Capricorn, it's really, very much about, the terrestrial stuff. That's the mountain goat, the earth sign Capricorn. So things really shifting more into consciousness now and evolution. And I think, we're going to really start to see that Aquarian age energy really start to take hold. So we're still in the transition between the ages of Piscean and Aquarian, but this is a huge step. Again, we're just going to get a taste of it for now, of what life is going to start to look like after 2025. And also Mars, that was in Gemini for 7 months due to the retrograde that happened in Gemini last autumn into the early winter. Usually Mars is in for about 7 weeks per sign, 7 or 8 weeks, but it was in for 7 months. So it goes into Cancer. So the thing is, Mars' energy, sometimes it's battles because it's the god of war. So when Mars is in Gemini, a lot of war of words, right? A lot of verbal, because Gemini is the mind, it's the intellect, it's communication. It's also duality. So a lot of energy into duality, into measuring the other side, into drawing lines in the sand and all that kind of stuff. But Mars does well in an air sign. When it comes into Cancer, it's said to be in its fall in astrology. So it's or its detriment. No, it's in its fall, not its detriment. Subtle difference. By the way, if you want a little bit more complete astrological information, check out Integral Astrology channel with Armand Diaz. So, with Mars in Cancer, a lot of our energy may go into our emotions, into our family, into our stability. It's also like right now on the world axis at 0 degrees. Or what, I think it's up to maybe 1 or 2 degrees now of Cancer. So, anyways, there's a little bit of astrology. So what we do next, I'm going to do the meditation card for the week. I'm going to actually peek at your comments. We're still at 0 people. And what's MDR saying is, I like the word authenticity, so I'm going to flash your comment. Yeah, it's like here on the Medium channel, we're pleasant, we're very optimistic, we're love and light here, but we don't sugarcoat things either. We want to be, in our authenticity and in our integrity. We're in a very challenging time, so we're not going to say, oh, everything's just incense and peppermints out there. But at the same time, like in the first line, I think of Tale of Two Cities, the classic by Charles Dickens. For the millennials, Charles Dickens was a British author. No, I'm teasing. I'm kidding. But the line is the famous line. It was the best of times is the worst of times. So, this is really the best of times, but at times it may seem otherwise. So in any event, I'm 26 peeps here. Wow, we have a very small group today. Intimate. We are intimate today. Um, it's actually quite nice out. It's supposed to be in the 50s here in the mountains. So that means it might hit 60 in the valley, which is real nice for March. And anyhow, all right. So meditation card, meditating with tarot. My recommendation for doing that is getting very relaxed, getting present, getting into your heart, always getting into your heart center. I think Mars in Cancer is going to aid us in that heart, especially in about 2 months when Mars goes into Leo. That's going to be a real good positive time. So that's the sun's going to be in Leo at the same time. Wow, Leo season is going to be really kind of interesting this year. Anyway, more on that as we get closer. It's only March right now. Actually, I think I lie. March, May. I think it's Mars is going to be in Virgo by the time the sun gets into Leo. Anyway, don't mind me. It's a Sunday morning. So back to our meditation card. Yes. So get very relaxed, and then you just kind of get step into the card basically and just see what you can't see in the card, the whole panoramic view, and feel the energy. So when you step in, as soon as you step into the card, feel the energy. So what is that card today? That card is interesting. The Nine of Swords. So we've had new trends lately. I've been doing this 2 years. I've been doing tarot time, and up until about a month ago, almost like clockwork, every meditation card I pulled was a major arcana card, or a court card. In the last 3 or 4 weeks, they've all been minor arcana, non-court cards. Those are the numbered and suit cards. The Nine of Swords is very interesting. This can be really, really insightful. I know the imagery could look a little bit happier in this card, because the hands are tied. There's the sword. This is called the Morgan Greer deck, by the way, if anybody is interested or cares. And so maybe this meditation is really finding your guides in the energy of this card and asking what's keeping your hands tied like that. What are these swords? Swords is air. Swords can be our thoughts, our perceptions. It can also be strife in the world around us. So by meditating with this card this week, I do believe Spirit wants to show us where that we're stuck, where in our heads that we're stuck, where in our hearts that we're stuck, and what we can do to move the energy and to move out of that. So again, you'll get really relaxed, gauge your energy. You do that by getting present. When you stop your thoughts and you become present and allow your consciousness to feel your body and the space around you, then you start to really understand from a whole new perspective, like what's going on inside of you and what's going on around you, basically. So you step much more into your intuition, much more into your spirit or your spirit's mode of perceiving your physical reality and your physical life. So once that happens, feel your energy. And then when you step in, how does your energy shift when you step into this card? And then feel the energy, look for signs, look for messages. Maybe there'll be spirit guides, maybe not, but just step in and just ask Spirit to give you messages, and maybe with the intention of what's holding me back right now. Or I shouldn't even say holding me back. What's keeping me from moving forward? I guess that's a different way of saying the same thing. Never mind. What's keeping me from moving forward? What's going on in my head? Where are how are my fears blocking me? Or I shouldn't say your fears, but programmed fears that you're just interacting with at this present moment. So anyway, that's the tarot time. Let me see. What are you guys saying? Yes, we talk. Oh, you're reminding me of another thing I wanted to mention, that we're doing a heart brain coherent not advance. Oh my goodness, magnified. My brain needs a little more coherence. Magnified heart brain coherence class on Thursday, the 30th of March, and we're going to teach you how to do the classic heart-brain coherence technique, as well as some breathing, some yoga, and some other meditations and exercises that I do that's made a huge difference in my life. People are starting to message me and telling me it's making a huge difference in their life also. So I'm sorry, I didn't even read your comment. In my heart and the sun this morning while listening to some instrumentals. It was so good. I didn't want to. Yeah, that's good. Sunny here in the collective. Spirit is quick. 34. I guess 33, 34. Oh, that's not your age. That's how many people are on. Say, we don't need to know that your age. Even though I say with a certain amount of pride that I'm 64, but anyways. So next is our 3 card spreads. Let me just stop my thinking for a second. Call on my guides. Okay, I'm there, so I can pull the right cards. This is number 1. It's funny, this Spirit's showing me a teapot in my mind as I'm doing this. I don't know exactly what that means, although and then they're saying, pull over, be a little bit careful about speeding, this week. You pull over. It's like that's when you get pulled over by a cop, right? So maybe make sure your taillights are working this week. That kind of good stuff. But the teapot, to me, that feels very relaxing. Let's sit down, have a cup of tea. Let's not stress too much over things. Let's have tea time. It maybe we're supposed to learn a little bit more about British culture. Lovely spots of tea, dear. All right, let me see. What cards did I pull here? Let's see, we have so not too surprisingly, the energy to this hits me in a very emotional way with Mars just really transiting into Cancer. So we have the Eight of Pentacles reversed, the Queen of Cups reversed, and the 6 of Swords reversed. So those are the cards that I pulled for you. Again, this could resonate with you personally or more on a collective level. To me, these reverse cards are telling me, and this may be message to self, at least as much as you guys, but slow down. I feel like they're saying, this week we kind of need to maybe just step back a little bit and get our senses together, kind of get more grounded, and more at peace. So I feel like on one hand, they're telling a lot of us to maybe take a little bit of a step back and just take a moment to just assess the playing field a little bit. Rather than constantly trying to make your next move and your next move, but just kind of running on adrenaline or running in reactionary mode. So one of the things about the 7 months with Mars in Gemini is a very quick sign. So it's very reactionary when Mars is affecting that. That was for 7 months. Now, when it goes into Cancer, it's like that fiery Mars can really get drowned in that very emotional, watery energy. But to use this in a positive way, you can use that energy, because Mars is the energizer, to really go into your emotions and go into your heart and really see where the waters are a little bit murky, so to speak, and use that fire of transmutation, that Mars fire, that energy to start to clear some of that stuff. So I think the cards are kind of reflecting this in a way. So the 8s, so we have the 8s and the 6s, which is interesting. Those are money numbers in numerology. So the thing is, we talk a lot about the banking systems, what's going on. We talk a lot. Well, we don't talk a lot about that, but we acknowledge that we've been talking about this for a long time because of certain astrological things that were poised to happen, and just what's sustainable and not sustainable as humanity undergoes an awakening. What's not sustainable is it basically a debt-based economy, which is tantamount to saying a fear-based economy. So we're all very much indoctrinated, some more than others, obviously, to be very fear-based about money and to see money as more of a function of debt and owing, rather than a function of abundance and attaining. So that's one of the messages, I think, to really look into that aspect of things. Um, Sorry, missing your guys' comments. It looks like you're having another good rip roaring conversation here. So I think that's one thing. I feel like they're talking about us maybe moving some of our investments also, or looking into that. And in today's day and age, again, this is not fear based. That's what we're trying to get out of. We're trying to get more into an abundance, mentality. And understanding. Part of that is understanding everything that exists in this physical world exists in abundance, from the 15 trillion cells in our body. And I'm looking out, and there's billions of trees. I can see the mountains in the background, and there's abundance of air. Everything's energy, and I don't know if I coined this or somebody else did, but I talk about the law of abundance, which simply says everything that exists in abundance. That includes money, and we have to understand that. By the way, another little tidbit is that Thursday I did an upload on my top 11 psychic forecasts, we'll say predictions and channel messages for the 2020. So that's available for you guys also. It felt very strong to me, and I do feel like a lot of this is what came through in that video is going to pan out. So so again, the economy's changing. The banks are changing. We understand from the astrology with this USA Pluto return that the USA, which is one of the major financial hubs in the world, that both the government, Pluto is in Capricorn, which is really about governments and stuff like that. But it's also in the country's second house, which is about money. So we knew the economy was going to change. We knew this was unsustainable. We know that as we evolve in consciousness and we awaken, a fear-based, debt-based economy is just not gonna happen anymore. It's gonna start to fall away. So if you can understand that energy and that dynamics, and understand what investments are going to really, or what companies, if you're investing in stocks, for example, are really going to serve the interests of the new earth rather than the old dying earth. Those are the investments that are going to pan out. A lot of people will invest money for like quick hits, or to make quick money, but most people are really in it for the long haul. They make smart investments that grow over the course of the years. Now, a lot of stocks will fall, a lot of up and down, a lot of volatility. We always talk about the precious metals, because that, gold will always have value, silver will always have value, but there's always that in between the cracks. So as everything's falling, like in the stock market, something is rising. That's just the nature of things. So if you can find those little cracks, you can do very well, even in a tough economy. So that may include cryptos, if you understand how that works. That may include other things. So I think that's part of it. I think this is also saying, again, with Mars and that very high energy of Gemini going into, well, Cancer's not low energy, it's just a different kind of energy. I think a lot of people are just going to feel tired and just going to feel like they don't want to really apply themselves. It's like it's easy to get psyched out this week. So I think for a lot of us that we have to really work on it to get back into our heart and really visualize and feel like our goals are manifesting. And sometimes just doing that gives us that impetus, gives us that extra drive to do what we need to do. Within the word attraction is the word action. So we have to maybe understand what actions that we need to take. And we may feel this week like we don't want to take any action. I see, although, there's 30 or 40 people on, 300 or more people watch Tarot Time. I know this is going to go out to somebody, but if this sounds like you, because I know that somebody's really working hard, taking care of an older family member. I'm seeing a female, I want to say, and the sense that I get is this may be your mother even, but the sense that I get is even though it's hard to take care of older people or ill people, I feel like you have a real opportunity to bond on a really higher level with this person. I feel like somebody's saying, I feel like whoever this is for, the father's passed and the mother's living. I feel like he's saying, well, don't take crap from her, be compassionate, but hold your boundaries also. So that's for one or several of you that's out there. If it's for you, let us know. So the Queen of Cups, sometimes the Queen of Cups is a very nice, beautiful woman, but doesn't always put a lot of energy out there for other people. It may just again be talking about you going through lots of emotional ups and downs. Be willing to purge or cleanse emotionally. Often that means crying or venting to a loved one that can handle you venting. But um, but yeah, and there's also kind of a letting go feeling, and then the Six of Swords. Even though swords is air, there's a lot of water in this card also. And this is much more of an earth energy. So a lot of the theme is just kind of letting things go emotionally. It's almost like starting over. There may be something where you're having a problem in a relationship or a marriage or something like that, and you just have to step back for a little while, and then decompress a little bit, and then approach the situation with a fresh set of eyes and a fresh set of ears, basically. Because it's very easy to kind of get drowned out by your own emotions this week. It's very, very easy to misjudge the reality around you based upon what you're feeling inside of you. Most emotional responses to the world, most emotional triggers is part of a programming. And that happens starting at very early in age, when we see how our parents emotionally respond to their environment, and our parents are our gods basically when we're little. So we believe that we have to respond the same way. Hence we have a program. So if my father would get angry and frustrated at every little thing, which he did, I learned to get angry and frustrated at every little thing, which I do not so much anymore, but which I do. So that's a good example. But if you can step back into your heart, if you can step into presence, and you do that enough that it becomes just part of your modus operandum in life, then when things come up, instead of reacting and then just allowing a subconscious program to just activate inside of you, you're observing your reaction, you're observing that program in action. And then like if I'm observing, I might still get frustrated or angry, but if I'm stepping back and observing myself doing that, I can be like, oh, okay, this is a program. It's like all right, I get it. And then you start to develop awareness, and then with awareness, then you can start to reprogram yourself. So I think this is a major message for us. Not to be surprised if you have some falling outs with friendships, relationships, although this is kind of a broken record, and this has been coming up a lot for the last couple of years. So anyhow, and the other thing is, you may be planning for a trip or going overseas. I want to say, I think that that's part of the Six of Swords energy. Let me just see what other messages before I move on. I've got plenty of other cards to pull today. I feel like they're saying, don't work too hard, work smart this week. Take your breaks. Again, with the Pluto and the Mars, these are very powerful energies. Pluto's really like a higher octave of Mars in an energetic sense. Both these planets change signs. So we need to step back and just let our energies reset. And the human resonance has been very, very spiky, very up and down. I think, what's the natural human resonance? 8.36 hertz, is it, a megahertz? I don't remember, but it spikes up to the thousands now, and then it goes down again. It's crazy, but that's just the frequency changes that's happening on planet Earth. And we've had, that's the other thing, we've had a real intense spike of energy lately. Now, since the last 20, 30 years, the energies, the frequencies have been increasing, and our bodies have been struggling to keep up. And we've been having ascension symptoms, some of us anyways, physically, emotionally, or whatever. That's only been ramping up. So it's been kind of curving up that way. And this week it kind of sloped up a lot. So it's almost like this week, because I think the energies kind of pulled back just a tad. We're kind of like, WTF, who am I? Where am I? I don't even feel like the same person. And it's like, I know I'm not that old person anymore, but I don't know who that new person is yet. So you may find yourself really in that in betweens this week. Just go with it. Just be okay with that and go in your heart. The answers will come if you don't resist, or if you don't try too hard. If you just go in your heart and go in your power, when you're ready and spirit's ready, the answers are going to come. So anyways, next on the list, I just wanted to peek at you guys. Oh yeah. I don't even know where to begin with all these. Yeah, so good. I'm glad that resonates, and I'll just flash one more. Very ground. Very good comment. Good community support. Good job, everybody. All right. Oh yeah. Okay. Have a good trip in May, MDR. So we found one person that can take that. I have this deck, the Divine Abundance Oracle. We like divine abundance, right? Everything that exists in abundance, including money. So let's. Oh, never mind. I don't have to shuffle them. The card just jumped out at me. This is what I pulled. Trust. So, yeah, definitely trust. Yes. Let me see. Let me read the message here. Allow me, divine, to give you my deepest longings, trusting. Wait. Let me read this again. Allow me, divine, to give you my deepest longings, trusting you to know exactly how to handle them. Okay. I think. Anyways, so trust, yeah. Even when things and our trust, our faith gets tested a lot in this world. Part of that is we're only here for 80 years if we're lucky. God's plan is thousands of years in the making. How the heck can we know God's plan? All we can do is see our lives from our very limited human perspective and say, oh my God, this sucks. God's not real. I don't trust anymore. But you're missing the story. You're missing the boat. We're programmed in certain ways. We're programmed to say this is positive, this is negative. But from the perspective of spirit, this is experience that you're meant to have. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It's all experience that you're meant to have. So it's all good in the end. So have that perspective, especially when things are tough. And I know that's a lot easier said than done. Like I teach heart brain coherence, and I tell people, well, all you have to do is sit with your magnified gratitude and compassion in your heart for 10 minutes. But that sounds easy, right? But what if you're in a crappy mood? It's like, when I'm in a crappy mood, do I want to feel grateful for anything? No, I do not want to feel grateful for nothing. I get it. I understand that. So it takes mental discipline to do this work. So if I'm having a bad day, if I can get through that inertia or that ego block, it's like, this is crappy. I don't want to feel grateful. What is there to feel grateful for? This is crappy or whatever. If I can get through that and just get into the heart, then all that dissipates. And once you lock into the frequency of the heart, it's like it never even happened. It's like your shitty day and just never even happened, basically. And that you're in that frequency of God, you're in that frequency of love or spirit, or the source, if you like that word better. So trust, even if things are hard, trust, basically. So that's the message from that. How about a sacred geometry card, everybody? Okay. This has been coming up a lot in my own personal work. Now it's coming up for your personal work. Root chakra. Without a strong root, how is the tree gonna be nurtured and thrive, right? So, I mean, it's not as much of an issue today because people are a little bit, I don't want to say smarter, more aware than they were like when I first had my awakening in the end of the 70s and the 80s. Because then, like a lot of what I was reading is like all about expanding your crown, like getting more psychic, getting more intuitive. But the idea is without a strong root, the higher chakras are not going to develop in the way that they need to, if that makes sense, or the way that they, the best way that they can. So these trees out here, without their roots, they would just fall over because they would get no nourishment. The trunk, the branches, the leaves, the flowers, the fruits would not be without the roots. So root chakra, the frequency of the root chakra, the red flower of life, stimulates passion and supports our sense of security on this physical plane, both in our bodies as well as in the physical world. And this is a really good message with the Mars transit into Cancer, because it's harder to find that spark of passion when Mars is watered down by this very emotional. I mean, I love Cancer. I'm not trying to say it's negative. It's just that Mars is in its fall in that sign. It's just the way astrology works. It's just the way energy works. So here's the symbol. I'll bring this closer to you. If you want to like pause the video and meditate on this, feel free. Maybe not now, but if you catch this as a video and just absorb the sacred geometry, just absorb that, just see that, feel that in your mind, in your heart, and sit with that, and that's going to lock into that energy and frequency to help your root chakra to get balance and to get stronger. So that's what I have for that. And let's see, I do have my Native American tarot. Usually I do that right after the other tarot. This will just be another quick message to augment that. All right, I'm not going to be here all day. That's good. All right. Here we go. So this is a card that I pulled. This is I think this is the ace of something. Probably wands because there's fire. Oh no, it's the magician. It'll be key one in the regular tarot, the magician. And here, Hustin Coyote. Very interesting interpretation indeed of the magician card. Now in Native American traditions, the coyote is the cosmic trickster. And interesting thing is in the tarot, the magician is Mercury ruled. Now Mercury's getting ready to go retrograde. Gosh, I should have looked in the ephemeris and given you guys the date. I think sometime in early-ish April. I think that happens. So Mercury in astrology is also known as the cosmic trickster, and so it really links, but the trickster is not like anything negative or bad, because at the end of the day, you get tricked into learning, you get tricked into knowledge, basically. So that's really what that's about. So that's um shadow. So Doreen, you're saying that on April 7th is actually when the approach begins. So the actual retrograde starts, towards the end of the month, not the beginning. Where could we retrograde March 21st? I don't think that's right, unless the approach started on March 21st and then the actual retrograde starts on the 7th. That makes sense to me. Yeah, that makes sense. So anyways, so beware the trickster, everybody. but that's part of your part of your learning. All right. So what else? Well, I have my animal totem cards, and then and one more after that. So let's see what our messages from our spirit animals are this morning. Also, okay. Interesting. One time I spent a summer living in the Sierra, in California, not the Sierra Madres, in the Sierra Nevadas, they're called. Hello. Yeah, for about three and a half months, just lived in the woods, basically in the forest. One time I was hiking along, I obviously I wasn't present, and I was about to take a step, and I heard, and then I jumped back and I looked down. There were two rattlesnakes, beautiful rattlesnakes, intertwined together. And it was just a beautiful sight, although it scared the bejesus out of me. I also had Sasquatch encountered. Maybe I'll talk about that now since I brought up Bigfoot. And this happened 3 times, but one time, and I was like hiking, around the woods. I did not hear a single bird, a single animal. It was still. And then all of a sudden I heard this breathing. It was loud, thunderous breathing. I was like, holy smokes. And then it got closer and it was above me, but I could not see a thing. And once my whole body went cold and my hands turned to ice, basically. And I was like, oh. Then after a few seconds, I'm like, okay, whatever this thing is, if it wanted to kill me, I'd be dead already. So I kind of relaxed. And I knew it was Sasquatch. I knew, but I couldn't see it. But I mean, the breathing was as loud as thunder. I mean, this thing couldn't have been more than 15 or 20 feet away from me, basically. So anyway, also I connected with spirits of miners, because there's a big gold rush out there also in the 1800s. There still is gold in the Sierras. So I'd be hanging around, and the person that I was with, I wasn't doing this by myself. I had a partner, that they would start to channel these spirits. When they drank, basically, they started to channel these spirits. Anyway, it was an interesting time. So seeing the rattlesnake just reminded me of that story. This was over 30 years ago. But the experiences that you're presently going through are initiation into fulfilling your purpose as a healer. That's amazing. Snake medicine is often associated with healers, with very powerful transmutation. Snakes shed their skin. It's very connected to feminine energy, like the powerful feminine energy also. So here we go. Yeah. So open up that snake. Maybe it's time to shed some skin, but also to own that power. That power is not easy to navigate. So you really, really need to be present in your heart to connect with this higher frequency of snake medicine, basically. So also, last thing, I have my one of my Doreen Virtue decks. So far, I am allowed to use these, being that none of my videos have gotten pulled yet. And knock on wood, cancel, delete that thought. I'm just saying that because Doreen Virtue pulled a lot of her angel cards from circulation. She had kind of, we'll say, a change in her spiritual direction, but the cards are still amazing. They still work for me. All right, let me clear my mind. Interesting. I'm actually seeing a campfire now, and what I'm seeing in my mind, almost like a torch, and somebody kind of holding the torch, basically, and kind of leading and guiding. And I think you're the one holding the torch. I think one of your messages is step up your leadership. They especially people that come to tarot time. I mean, a lot of you are finding us on YouTube, granted, but a lot of you come to all of these sessions, and a lot of the work that we do on the medium channels, because you're meant to be a new age leader, or new earth leader. Let me get the right expression. A new earth leader, and a healer, or a channeler, or a medium yourself. Anyway, the card that I got is Oceana. I love this. This is the card that I pulled. Very appropriate for Cancerian energy, with Mars now in the sign of Cancer. Take action. You're in touch with your truth in this situation, and you need to trust your gut and lovingly assert yourself. So let me blend these two cards here. So they're saying, trust. Like, I it's trusting in doing my YouTube shorts. I did a little sampler, just a little 30-second video to announce the longer video about my top 11 predictions and messages from spirit for the 2020s. So I wanted to test it. I wanted to do a short. I did it. For 1 hour, it wound up hitting the short shelf and wound up getting like 300 views in like an hour, which that hasn't happened in any of my long form videos ever. And then what happened, I'm noticing on the shorts, is that they hit the short shelf for an hour and they run up the views, and then they get dropped, and then sometimes they get picked up again. But anyway, long story short is I trusted, and it's been a pretty big hit for the channel. And so we release those at 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. every morning, except for Sundays, except for today's. I've only done about 5 of them, so I'm fine tuning it. So I'm they're going to get better. I mean, I think they're good. I think the work that we've been doing is good already, but I'm kind of getting more of a feel for them. So those are going to get better, and I have a feeling that it's going to bring a lot of people into this community. So that's good. So I was in touch with we're saying I was in touch with my truth in the situation, and I took action and I had faith. So they're telling you guys to do the same thing. So this is a cool comment that I just happened to come here, and and Jody Fritz. Hopefully, she doesn't mind me telling the world that she's a very talented artist. So this is cool to see this comment too. All art is spiritual. Was a big awakening after after Deco art. Sadly, they had to America run to America war. Really, yeah, good observations. Thank you. And going great with the new short. Oh, thank you, Jessica. I appreciate that. Yeah. And thank you, Chaos Theory. We talk a little bit about things like that here, though I'm not a quantum physicist. So I tell people, check out Joe Dispenza if you want to learn more, or the other great quantum physicists. I don't know if I consider him a quantum physicist, just somebody that's very knowledgeable. Well, yeah, I do, because he did the movie What the Bleep Down Do We Know, and What the Bleep Down the Rabbit Hole. He's a quantum physicist. Okay, I just answered my own question. You're welcome, Jody. And oh my God, I looked it up, and I have a shirt with one of those images on it from the band Listener. Cool, spoken in art. All right, so I'm gonna get going here. I'll let you guys go. Thank you always, and yeah, again, just as a brief rundown. 5 p.m. is yoga with Doreen of Children's School of Yoga. She's on with us right now, so that's happening at 5. The transition into spring. This is kind of like the astrological new year happened on March 20th. So this is the transition into spring. And then Tuesday, my favorite animal pet communicator, Cindy Brody's coming on, and I'm going to do an interview for her here on the channel. She's going to do maybe a few messages from your pets also, if you happen to be here live. And then I know there's a couple of other things, but I think that's good. I think that's enough commercials to finish up tarot time. I love you. Thank you for being here. We'll see you at the next video. Bye.